But 200 years ago, because of the fighting over the national religion event, they were completely despised by the emperor at that time. And at this time, a teacher from Yunlu Academy took this opportunity to establish himself as a separate entity. To please the emperor at that time with the concept of upholding moral order, suppressing personal desires. With the support of the emperor, he established the Imperial Academy, and thus became a great teacher of his time. Subsequently, the Imperial Academy replaced Yunlu Academy as the main institution for training the royal government officers. The Orthodox Confucianism dispute consequently continued for 200 years. Gavin Yang went to State Qin to expand the territory for Yunlu Academy and establish a foundation in the government. However, if he wishes to revive the past glory of the academy, he will have to rely on the young students. When it comes to this, Milesley stood up and looked towards the students. Is there anyone willing to compose a poem to bid farewell to Gavin Yang? Gavin Yang also generously took out his own jade pendant as a gift for the winner of this competition. The students were eager to give it a try one after another. An hour has passed. 3 great Confucian scholars felt they needed to clean their ears because they heard something too bad. Ever since the Imperial Academy reannotated the classics for the Holy Scripture, students all over the world can only be confined to the classics, buried in the wording. Articles, poetry, and lyrics have lost their spirituality. This is also the reason for the decline of Confucianism in modern times. The original Confucianism once stood invincible in various categories. However, Confucianism has now deteriorated significantly. Gavin Yang is somewhat disappointed but is still willing to see if there are other scholars who can produce good poetry. And at this moment, an arrogant voice sounded. "Teacher, I have a poem." Everyone is a little confused about the situation. Even Simon Zhang popped his head out because he recognized it was his own student, Nico Su's voice. Student Nico has a poem for Gavin Yang's farewell. He has been intentionally silent until now. He is modest and humble. He doesn't want to embarrass his classmates by showing off his great poems too early. He definitely doesn't want to steal the limelight. Nico Su is my student. He excels in military strategy and policy analysis. He is a talent worth nurturing. He silently added a sentence in his heart after speaking. But he just can't write poetry. Nico Su looked up at the sky at a 45-degree angle. He took a deep breath and slowly closed his eyes. 1,000-mile yellow clouds darken the day. The north wind drives wild geese as snowflakes sway. These 2 lines of poetry do have a bit of charm. His appearance in this office seems to be highly favored and granted authority by the royal government. However, the group of forces from the Imperial Academy, where he originated, will not stand by and watch him advance unimpeded. They will not allow him to establish a foundation for Yunlu Academy in the officialdom. His journey to State Qin this time is actually uncertain and full of challenges. Suddenly, Nico Su opened his arms. His handsome face is bathed in the warm sunlight, exuding a flawless and delicate beauty reminiscent of jade. He raised his arm and looked directly at Gavin Yang as he firmly delivered the last 2 sentences. Do not be worried that no friend knows your way. For in this world, who would not know your name? The crowd raised goosebumps all over. The 3 great Confucian scholars were all shocked at the moment. They quickly asked for the latter part of the poem. But for a long time, none of them saw Nico Su speak. This poem has only half a stanza. The scholars present immediately exploded. They found it hard to accept such words. How can one write only half a poem? Is this still a person? Gavin Yang calmed his emotions with a profound smile. No harm, no harm. A half poem is already amazing to the point of being otherworldly. Although it is only a half quatrain of a 7-character poem, Defying's poetry skills are now weakened. Once this poem spreads, it will surely cause a sensation in Confucianism and be widely sung by students from all over the world. Does this poem have a title? Nico Su remains proud. Actually don't know how to explain it. Only by maintaining an aloof posture. Can people stop asking? He said the poem has not been named yet. Gavin Yang's smile actually widened instead. This poem is indeed suitable for bidding me farewell. How about I come up with a name for you instead? Grandmaster Milesley and military strategist Simon Zhang suddenly understood his intentions. How about naming it Farewell Gavin Yang of the state of Qin? Nikosu respectfully presents. All relies on teacher's decision. The two distinguished great Confucian scholars are even more upset. Shameless scoundrel, weak in poetry. This poem will spread. It will surely cause a sensation in Confucianism and be sung by students around the world. Gavin Yang's reputation will also rise with the tide. The key is his actions this time. It's equivalent to tying his own name to this poem. It is evident that this scoundrel is willing to sacrifice his dignity for fame. And at this moment, Nikosu cleared his throat. Teachers, this poem was not written by me. It was written by someone else. Aaron Su may never have thought of it in his whole life. Two great Confucian scholars fighting over taking him as a student is something Aaron Su would never have imagined. Just as Nikosu pointed out that the poem was not written by himself, but by his senior brother. The three great Confucian scholars were first surprised, and then Simon Zhang showed a look of, as expected? Just that all the students have gone crazy. They are all asking whether this great talent is from our academy. The more they discuss, the more intense it gets. Where did Nikosu's senior brother study? How come I haven't heard of this person? Who is your senior brother learning from? Hey, tell us. We have no clue about such poetic talent. The students are getting anxious. Nikosu suddenly realized that he had made a mistake. I shouldn't have mentioned what the senior brother said. All things are lowly compared to the pursuit of knowledge. It is evident that scholars are proud. Nikosu is one of them. If everyone knew that Aaron Su is nothing more than a vulgar government officer. A lowly worker can also write a masterpiece of poetry. Where should we put our faces? Nikosu forced himself to study diligently. My senior brother is studying classics diligently at home. He is neither at Yunlu Academy nor at Imperial Academy. He has a mild and uncompetitive personality. He does not enjoy fame and prefers the quiet to the bustling scenes. He only wishes to dedicate himself to scholarly pursuits until his old age. The students of Yunlu Academy were shocked. They were deeply inspired to make new friends, finding such integrity and moral character truly exemplary. Gavin Yang set off for State Qin. The leadership position was given to Nikosu without any surprises. And at this moment, Gavin Yang emerged with a glowing face. He also made a pointed remark saying, "Such great talent should not be concealed like a bright pearl covered in dust. What do you think?" Two great Confucian scholars did not know whether they really didn't understand or were pretending not to understand. They silently escorted Gavin Yang away. They watched the carriage depart from afar. Milesley suddenly grabbed Nikosu's hand and led him to the side. I suddenly felt like taking on a disciple. Since I have nothing to do today, take me to meet your senior brother. Simon Zhang directly knocked Milesley flying and said, Nico, if you and senior brother worship under my seat, it would be a good story. It's not important whether to write poetry or not. The key is not to bury such a talent. If in the future, by chance, a masterpiece is achieved, like a poem passed down for generations such as my teacher Simon Zhang, it would be excellent. Milesley expressed dissatisfaction, saying, military strategy is not the mainstream. Scholars should first learn the classics and nurturing his family. Simon Zhang snorted coldly. The way of chess is indeed mainstream. Moreover, he is someone who can't stand losing. He has never won a game against Joseph Wei. Bastard, shut up. Don't mention Joseph Wei in front of me. I have always valued talent. This student, I have accepted. Is that valuing talent? You are lusting after his poetic talent. Shameless bastard, watch as my righteousness overwhelms and destroys you. Seems like I don't have such power. Two great Confucian scholars began to argue heatedly, with flushed faces, and eventually resorted to physical confrontation. On the other side, Aaron Su is currently in a competition with Zane Su. They are exchanging blows back and forth. Zainsu praised with a sentence. Well done. Your skills have improved. Aransu modestly replied. That's too much praise. Zainsu couldn't help but sigh and said, in addition to the medicinal bath, to be promoted to the chi forging level, you also need a master at the soul forging level to help you unlock the celestial portal. Otherwise, you will never be able to step into the chi forging level. I have fought bravely in the battle of mountains and seas, accumulating military achievements. Only then did I exchange them for a military master to unlock the celestial portal for me to step into the chi forging level. Zainsu sighed. The next year after returning home, Nico was born. Aransu wiped away sweat. Zain, what do you want to say? I have grown old. My only wish is to see you get married and have children. Only then can I be worthy of your deceased father. Aransu was speechless. To get promoted, besides accumulating merits, there is another method, which is to spend money. The royal government strictly controls the number of soldiers. It is clearly stipulated that masters of the soul forging level are not allowed to privately unlock the celestial portal for anyone. If they want to unlock the celestial portal for their family descendants, they need to report to the government. However, the bureaucratic atmosphere in Defying is very poor nowadays. Corrupt officials run rampant. The authority of the royal government is gradually weakening. They may not dare to openly violate the law, but there are still many soul forging level masters who will seek trading partners on the black market. Aransu works hard to make money, even coming up with the idea of using silver as a substitute for meritorious service. Otherwise, he has been stuck at the spirit forging level and unable to break through, which is equivalent to wasting time. Since the end of the tax silver case, the relationship between Aransu and his family has improved a lot. After a month of getting along, Lily Sue's impression of her older cousin has changed a lot. It's no longer as distant as before. This is actually the first time she has gone shopping with this older brother. And at this moment, Aransu was staring at her. He suddenly came up with a way to make money. Can he improve the clothes by himself? Make women's clothes more beautiful and attractive. In an instant, many revolutionary women's clothing ideas flashed through his mind. But he quickly cut off this idea. In this conservative society, if he made these clothes himself, he would probably be beheaded. A tender but anxious voice interrupted Aransu's thoughts. Lila Sue pointed at a vendor on the street and said, Sister, I want to eat candied hawthorn. The Sue family encountered a major disaster. Their money ran out. They have been living frugally for this month. Lily Sue didn't have any bronze coins on her to buy candied hawthorn for her sister. Lila Sue turned to call Aaron. Aransu felt helpless as he didn't have money either. But he will have money soon. He stepped on something. He bent down and picked it up. It was 1 cheen. He now had money again for today's watching performances in brothel. But this is really unscientific. It's always exactly the money for watching performances in brothel each time. Could it be that going to the brothel every day is fate? But I think I should first find a way to break through to the chi forging level. I still don't know the power ceiling of this world. If my abilities become stronger in the future, maybe I can figure out the reason for my luck. Aransu generously bought 3 strings of candied haws. Lily Sue modestly whispered, Thank you. Aransu looked at her and sighed in his heart. His little sister is indeed pleasing to the eye. A pair of small hands kept waving in front of Aransu. She asked, Is your candied fruit sweet? Lila Sue drooled as she spoke indistinctly. Aransu saw through the little girl's thoughts. Do you want to eat it? He asked. Lila Sue was taken aback. She didn't expect her thoughts to be known by older brother. Older brother is really amazing. Aransu chuckled. Eating too many candied haws will make worms grow in your mouth. A look of vigilance appeared on Lila Sue's little face. What kind of worms will grow? Aransu thought for a moment to describe to her. It's the chubby, greasy kind of worms. He had just finished speaking. He saw his younger cousin girl swallow nervously. She looked very excited. He gave her the candied hawthorn stick directly. And at this moment, Lila Su was attracted by the scene in front of her. Restaurant Moon is a third-class tea house. But even for a third-class tea house, you still need to pay a minimum of 2 Qin silver to enter. If you want to spend the night with a girl, depending on the quality, you could get a lower quality one for around 5 or 6 Qin. For higher quality, it could cost 1 or 2 tael. Aaron Su pondered for a moment. He confirmed that he was a person who couldn't afford it. Lila Su said, "The ladies upstairs are so beautiful." Aaron Su replied, "The ladies are doing business. Of course, they need to dress nicely." Lila Su curiously asked, "What kind of business?" Lila Su's eyes were bright and energetic. She looked up at the tea house, unwilling to leave. Lily Su tapped her foot and scolded. "Older brother should not discuss these things with his younger cousin girl, Aaron Su." Aaron Su quickly ran away. Lila Su pointed at Aaron Su and said, "Aaron is really good." Lily Su made a soft sound. Not long after, Aaron Su came back holding a portion of roasted fish balls. Just at this moment, Aaron Su saw 4 or 5 bodyguards surrounding Lily Su. The 16-year-old beautiful girl looked like a trapped doe. She was trying to protect herself while attempting to break through the encirclement. She was so distressed that she was almost in tears. Lila Su saw her sister being bullied, which made her feel so anxious and flustered that she didn't know what to do. She ran up to rich young man with her short little legs and started scolding him, pointing right at his nose. Rich young man watched as Lila Su in front of him was shouting and causing a commotion. He subconsciously raised the whip in his hand. He urged the steed to lift its hooves high, heading towards Lila Su to trample down. Lily Su let out a mournful wail. Aaron Su felt a surge of anger in his heart. The moment the horseshoe lifted, he took out the copper coins from his pocket. He threw it with all his strength. 72 copper coins whistled through the air, showering down on silk-robed rich young man. Rich young man had no reaction to the oncoming fatal attack. It was the bodyguard who responded instead. He threw himself at rich young man, knocking him off his horse. Some bronze coins missed their target and hit nothing, while others embedded into the horse. The spurt of blood splattered Lila Su's face. Lila Su, who was standing still in a daze, had not yet figured out what had happened. She collapsed to the ground as her legs gave way. She raised her small hand and wiped her face. Her hands were stained with fresh blood splattered from the fight. Aaron Su quickly covered Lila Su's hand with his own to prevent her from looking. He then hugged Lila Su tightly. Lila Su didn't even cry despite how thrilling it was just now. But as soon as she saw older brother coming, she immediately let go of all her guard. She burst into tears with a loud cry. He has been reborn for so long. This is still Aaron Su's first time getting angry. Aaron Su saved Lila Su. He immediately said to Lily Su, "Take Lila to Changle County Government Office to make a report. Tell them it was me who sent you." Then he asked law enforcer Wong to send someone to invite Zane from the Imperial Blade Guard Country Magistrate Zhu's home. It should be on Street H. Lily Su took a deep look at Aaron Su and said, "Older brother, take care." She then hugged Lila Su and left. At this moment, the rich young man also came to his senses from the previous chaos. He fiercely said to Aaron Su, "It's you who killed my horse." Aaron Su stood up slowly. He said lightly, "Yes, it's me. But now I want to kill you." Aaron Su is angrier than ever before. The horse that Aaron Su just killed is a priceless blood horse, which can only be ridden by officers of the rank of Deputy General or higher in the army. Its value is equivalent to a Lamborghini in modern times. In ancient times, being able to afford a supercar was a sure sign of belonging to the top-tier officers' kids. Aaron Su also calmed down his anger a bit, because he knew deeply. Only the kids of officers can defeat officers' kids with his current identity. It really makes him nowhere to vent his anger. Aaron Su gritted his teeth and patiently spoke in a polite and gentle manner. I am Aaron Su, the eldest son of Zane Su, the Imperial Blade Guard and leader of 100 Household. Just now the two of them are my sisters. I'm not sure where we offended young master. I accidentally killed young master's beloved horse in a moment of panic just now. I will definitely compensate. Rich young man was stunned for a moment after hearing this. You said Zane Su lost tax silver, right? Aaron Su heaved a sigh of relief. That's right. The rich young man's face suddenly darkened. He said, You are trying to ruin him. Just leave it at that. The bodyguards all drew their swords and moved forward. Aaron Su almost cursed at the scene. Two bodyguards attacked together. Aaron Su dodged to the side. The bodyguard sandwiched Aaron Su from the front and back. He bent down just in time to dodge. He then lightly tapped the ground with the sole of his foot. Immediately, he leaped into the air. Thinking to himself, these two spirit-forging entrance-level opponents couldn't pose a threat to him. Just at this moment, the two bodyguards jumped to the left and right. A person appeared above Aaron Su's head at some point. When Aaron Su realized, the three individuals had already formed a situation of surrounding Aaron Su on three sides. Aaron Su had no way to avoid it. He was stabbed in the abdomen. Before Aaron Su could make any move, the person above him clasped their hands together and struck towards him. The next moment, Aaron Su dove towards the ground like a bullet. The rich young man also started to show off at this moment. Get down on your knees, Kowtow, and call me Grandpa twice. If I'm in a good mood, I may spare your life. Aaron Su replied loudly. Your punches are really bad. Rich young man did not provoke Aaron Su. Instead, he lost face himself. He sternly said, Kill him for me. Don't leave a single breath behind. The bodyguards surrounded them again. Aaron Su kept building up power under his feet, causing the blue bricks to crack open. He cursed silently in his heart. It's my turn to perform. Aaron Su darted out like an arrow. The bodyguard watched as Aaron Su flew towards him. They hadn't had time to react. Aaron Su arrived in front of him. The next moment, Aaron Su crashed into him. Several of his ribs were broken from the impact. He never expected that Aaron Su was hiding his true strength. Aaron Su dashed towards rich young man with undiminished momentum. He grabbed the man's neck amidst the other's frightened expression. Rich young man saw that things were going south. He was about to bring out his family's distinguished name. Aaron Su clenched his fist tightly and delivered a hard punch to the abdomen. Rich young man's body suddenly doubled over in pain. He spat out fresh blood from his mouth. Aaron Su said with a dark face, Dare to bully my sister. It's not that easy to settle. Then he punched a few more times. The bodyguards were nervous and scared, but they didn't dare to step forward to intervene. The rich young man collapsed on the ground. Aaron Su stepped on his face with ease. If you can't win, call for help. This has been a rule since ancient times. Aaron Su trampled rich young man under his feet. The surrounding bodyguards dared not step forward to break it up. But even though rich young man is now completely softened, he still wants to bully Aaron. Do you know who my father is? You vulgar soldier. Aaron Su kicked him. I only know that even a peasant can have wrath, and when a peasant is angered, blood can be shed within 5 steps. Both sides confronted each other for a moment. A group of law enforcers, wearing dark-colored uniforms with plain sabers on their waists, hurried over. The one leading them is that troublemaker law enforcer Wong. How dare he cause trouble in Changle County? Take him away immediately. The law enforcers all responded one after another. After a moment, the rich young man and his group were pressed to the ground. He hadn't figured out the situation yet. Why are you arresting me? Arrest Aaron. I will make him suffer 1,000 cuts. The law enforcers simply ignored it. They just pressed him and sent him to the government office. Wong turned back and said to Aaron Su, "Brother, you have caused big trouble. That person has a complicated background. Have you figured out how to solve this?" Aaron Su muttered to himself, "I really don't know either." However, he still spoke up. "Let's inform Zane first." In the government office, Country Magistrate Zhu said with a flattered look to the rich young man, "Isn't this young Master Zhou? How have you been, Assistant Minister Zhou?" Silk-robed young master waved his robe fiercely and pointed at Aaron Su, saying fiercely, "This person committed violence in public and tried to kill me. Quickly take him down." Country Magistrate Zhu could only smile and try to defuse the situation. Then he glared angrily with round eyes. He flew up and kicked Aaron Su. "Nonsense. Dare to even hit the young master of the Assistant Minister of Household Affairs, Lord Zhou. How many heads do you think you have?" Although Country Magistrate Zhu seems like this on the surface, he still sighed in his heart about how silly Aaron Su was this time. Country Magistrate Zhu turned his head. He smiled again. "Young Master Zhou is part of the family. Don't bother with someone insignificant like him." Aaron Su felt a sinking feeling in his heart. He actually is the young master of the Assistant Minister of Household Affairs. In the officialdom of the Defying dynasty, the power of a government officer is not determined by rank, but by background and authority. There are many first or second-rank government officers, but the ones who truly stand at the peak of power are actually very few. This includes the heads of the 6 ministries and assistant ministers. Even if you call upon Zane, this Imperial Blade Guard and 100 household leader, he is of no use at all. He fought with the son of the Assistant Minister of Household Affairs. This matter has indeed escalated. Young Master Zhou was very angry. "Don't give me this nonsense. You won't arrest him? Then I'll do it myself." He waved his hand and ordered the bodyguard to arrest this kid for me. He didn't believe it. At the county government office, Aaron Su dared to resist and commit violence. Country Magistrate Zhu shouted angrily, "Who dares to commit violence in the county government office will be punished regardless of the consequences." The government officers drew their plain sabers and rushed out. They confronted the bodyguard, who was about to take action. Young Master Zhou cursed loudly, "How dare you touch my people?" Country Magistrate Zhu still smiled. "Young Master Zhou, don't misunderstand. I am an officer of the royal government just following the rules." With that, he took out a complaint. "I have a lawsuit here, accusing young master of riding a horse to commit violence and bullying a virtuous lady. The plaintiff is Lily Su." Young Master Zhou disdainfully snorted. "I rode my horse recklessly. Whom did I hurt? I bullied innocent women. Go ask around the streets. Have I laid a finger on any of these women?" Country Magistrate Zhu took back the lawsuit documents. "Then I guess this woman got the wrong person." Aaron Su is a bit flustered. Country Magistrate Zhu can't handle it. I have to find a way to save myself. If it really doesn't work out, I'll run away. But it will definitely put Zane's family in trouble. In a sudden turn of thought, he saw one of young Master Zhou's bodyguards leaving the county government office. And Country Magistrate Zhu did not stop him. Or perhaps he couldn't stop him. Aaron Su's heart grew colder again. He walked up to Wong and said in a low voice, "Brother, I'm out of luck today. There's something I want to ask of you. Please lend me a tael of silver first." Wong took out a handful of small pieces of silver and gave them to him. Aaron Su took the small pieces of silver and put them in his pocket. Then he said, "Leader, please hurry to my house. Please get a book from the cabinet beside my bed. Remember to grab the blue cover book. Do not take the wrong one. Immediately go to the observatory bureau after you have taken the book and find a girl named Camila. Please help me pass on a message. Aaron Su is in trouble. Please come and rescue him." Observatory Bureau is currently Aaron Su's only lifesaver. He asked Wong to take the blue cover book to find Camila Chu. Wong's face fell when he heard that. The Observatory Bureau is not a place where someone like him can go. He quickly waved his hand to refuse. Aaron Su knew it would be like this. He whispered, "If something happens to me, no one will return your silver. If you help me with this, next month my full salary will be yours." Wong gritted his teeth. But what can he do now? He could only angrily storm out of the county government office. At that moment, Zane Su arrived. Just as he entered the government office, young Master Zhou angrily pointed at him and said, "Who are you? Is this the kind of place you can just barge in? Get out." Zane Su paid no attention. He already understood the whole situation on his way here. At this moment, he suppressed his anger and said, "Can this matter be resolved amicably?" Young Master Zhou was taken aback by Zane Su's expression. Meeting his eyes, he seemed to sense a palpable threat. He remembered the words Aaron Su had spoken on the street. The reckless words stuck in his throat, unable to be uttered. And at this moment, a majestic aura emanated from outside the government office. Leader Su has such commanding presence. If my young master doesn't give up, blood will be spilled within 5 steps. Zane Su felt the aura attacking him from behind. The person who came is a master at the soul forging level. This is going to be difficult to handle. Young Master Zhou is overjoyed. Elder feels both heartbroken and angry when he sees the injuries on young Master Zhou's face. How did young Master get injured like this? It was which damn animal that dared to lay a hand on him? I've watched young Master grow up. I would feel heartbroken even for a tiny scratch on him. Aaron Su is anxious and upset. Rank 7 soul forging level. He has improved by 2 ranks on his own. Country Magistrate Zhu cleared his throat. "You are?" Elder interrupted casually. "I'm just a worker from the Zhou family." Country Magistrate Zhu smiled apologetically. "Senior, you're being too polite. I think this is all just a misunderstanding. With the Imperial examination approaching, we should prioritize harmony. What do you think, Senior?" Elder sneered coldly. "Just a few insignificant little people. It won't influence Master's Imperial examination." His words had just fallen when the chaotic and loud footsteps could be heard coming from outside the government office. In less than a moment, the royal guards had filled up behind Elder. The leader was a government officer dressed in a green robe. He looked around and declared loudly, "Department of Criminal Justice is here to arrest criminals. Others, please step aside. Those involved will be punished accordingly." Minister Wang finished speaking and squeezed out a smile towards young Master Zhou. "Excuse me, young master, I have a question for you. Where are the criminals hiding?" Young Master Zhou pointed at Aaron Su. "It's him." Minister Wang waved his hand. "Arrest him." The royal guards rushed up. They arrested Aaron Su. "What crime has my nephew committed, Lord?" Minister Wang glared angrily. "Whether there is guilt or not, I will make the decision. As the Minister of the Department of Criminal Justice, I have always upheld justice impartially." Young Master Zhou sneered coldly. He watched as Aaron Su was taken away under pressure. Zane Su wanted to step forward to stop them, but he was firmly held back by Country Magistrate Zhu. Young Master Zhou said to Elder, "I want that boy Aaron Su dead." The killing intent in Elder's eyes flashed briefly and disappeared. "Young Master, rest assured. I will take care of it." Zane Su watched them leave, unable to do anything. He could only slam the ground fiercely and say, "I will go and file a petition to the Emperor." Country Magistrate Zhu sighed. "Forget it. You won't be able to see the Emperor. The palace of the Emperor is a forbidden area where even the Imperial Blade Guard 100 household leader is not allowed to enter. You also do not have the power to submit a petition. What you can do now is to go find Nico. He is a scholar in the Imperial examination at Yunlu Academy. He might have a way. Although Yunlu Academy is heavily suppressed in the official circles, it has almost no room for survival. But those who live there are not weak scholars without any power. Those are a group of saint disciples. They excel at persuading people with reasoning. Initially, Nico Su was able to escape the fate of exile. It was all thanks to the group of people from Yunlu Academy. The Observatory Bureau is a place full of legendary colors. Here, the chief of the bureau is Lord Observing the Stars. He also sets the calendar. He is a banished immortal who can communicate with the immortals in the sky. The alchemists of the Observatory Bureau bring benefits to the people, akin to a divine being in the eyes of the people. Since they are divine beings, generally no one dares to approach where they live. Except for the poor soul Wang. He has attempted to turn back several times, but has always refrained. On the first floor of the observatory tower, there are the apprentices of rank 9 sorcerer doctors gathered inside. Wang was discovered as soon as he entered. Law enforcer Wang is a bit scared. His throat rolled and he stuttered. "I am a law enforcer from Changle County Government Office." He subconsciously held the blue cover book tightly in his arms. On the other side, Observatory Tower 7th floor. Jack Song is the best one among rank 6 alchemists. He is the 4th apprentice of the chief of the bureau. At the Observatory Bureau, everyone can claim to be the chief of the bureau's apprentice to outsiders. However, in reality, the chief of the bureau has only taught 6 disciples. They are known as the Observatory Bureau 6 disciples. He specializes in studying Aaron Su's alchemy science of extracting sodium metal day and night. But he ended up in failure. At this moment, a hurried shout interrupted Jack Song's senior disciple. Just now, a law enforcer came to look for Camilla's senior female disciple. He also left a message. "Please save Aaron Su in time of trouble." After saying that, he handed the blue cover book to Jack Song. Jack Song felt that the name Aaron Su sounded familiar, but he couldn't recall it. Jack Song flipped to the first page. The writing was downright ugly. But as he kept looking, he got hooked. Equivalent exchange. The principle that governs alchemy. Edward Elric. Jack Song started to think about what the words, Edward Elric, represent. Are they a code or some kind of alchemical secret language? Jack Song took a deep breath to steady his emotions. He couldn't wait to flip to the next page. The opening sentence is, "Stepping into the world of alchemy science." This is teaching people to enter the field of alchemy science. How arrogant. Jack Song thought. Alchemy science has always been taught through words and deeds. Those with exceptional talents can master it in a year or 2. Those with dull talents may achieve nothing even after 3 to 5 decades. The Observatory Bureau still doesn't have a proper textbook to this day. Jack Song opened the first section and looked at it. This time he was even more shocked.